All right, folks, welcome to another episode of the VF Cast. I am VF Baller. I've been lacking doing these episodes. Not necessarily lacking because I didn't want to. I just been being pulled in a lot of directions. But I always had the idea what I wanted to do with this episode. Since the last episode, I quote unquote set myself straight, and it was perceived pretty well for the people who watched it, and people understand where I was coming from, and I really appreciate it. Now I'm going to take it to the next step. I'm going to actually recommend some sports games for you guys to play because most people don't know, even though I play a lot of sports titles. I do. And I do play other games as well, but I play a lot of sports titles, and it's not healthy at this point. And it's not, and I'm saying it's not healthy like it's a bad thing, but I always been trying to find myself to get my ducks in a row, what games I want to play. And I finally got that. I've been getting that together for the past, maybe couple years now, where there's a group of games that I want to play, and I know I'm going to play them because a lot of these games have very high replay value, but nobody really talks about why in that they actually do have a high replay value. So I'm going to talk about that as well. I'm also going to give you a whole bunch of games that you can play for yourself, and that I recommend. Most of these games are in the PlayStation 3. Some of them are in the PlayStation 4, era, 360, Xbox One era. I'm to the point now I don't recommend many games, if any, for the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series as far as sports titles. I don't recommend them because of the way those games are geared nowadays. Those games are just not catered to people like me. Now, mind you, I was born in the 80s. I, grew up playing games in the mid 80s, early 90s, all the way up to now. I'm old when it comes to playing video games. I've been playing video games for over 30 years now. And I have to understand my place. It's one of the reasons why I looked at that last video or the last episode was, like I said, episode 20, where I just told myself, look, I know my place in gaming and I need to stick with what I enjoy. You see all these consoles behind me. I know you can't see them all, but I have some under this, under my big TV as well. I have a couple of PlayStation 2s, an N64. I also have a Saturn and, another, I have a lot of old stuff. And even under this TV behind me, that's directly behind me, I have more consoles. I have over about 20 consoles. I do have an Xbox Series S, and I love that console for what it is. But I need to stop kidding myself thinking that I need to be playing these newer sports titles, because I don't. These newer sports titles are rarely geared to people like me, and like I said, I'm going to talk about that because I see this all the time. I see people always trying to find greatness in these new games, and these games aren't geared towards people who want to play, let's say, a franchise mode, or they're not even geared to people who want to do my players. And I mean, I think that's something nobody don't want to talk about. This is not even geared to people who want to do my players. These games now are geared to people who want to collect cards and have these souped up teams, or these players who are real, like just creating a player to do unrealistic things on the court. Now, you do have your hockeys, you do have your baseball games, and baseball is kind of geared toward the card thing, but that's baseball cards. I mean, that's a tradition, but it's not necessarily geared to having souped up crazy teams that I know of. I could be wrong, but the hockeys, the baseballs are still kind of geared toward the traditional side of just playing the sport. And I think that's something that we get away from. I know I talk about, I've been talking a lot about basketball when it comes to like the type of games I play. And I've been showing those off on the top 5 Tuesdays. And, I've been sending in the clips to D for 3 and Andrew over there in the NLSC. I think I said that right. NLSC podcast. Those guys do great work over there. You need to check those guys out. They do a phenomenal job. But they relish in the fact that older games have quality. The newer games have more problems than need be. And it's problems because we all from that era. I mean, I think those guys are in their 30s, just like me. But we all came from an era where when we picked up a basketball game, we want to play basketball. You know what I'm saying? When I pick up a football game, I want to play football. When I play a golf game, I want to play golf. And I think golf has done a phenomenal job of keeping up with that tradition of just playing the sport and not having all this stuff that's added to it that's really Frankensteining the games. And I think that's one of the things that we have gotten away from. We've gotten away from that to the point where we don't have any identity of the actual sport being displayed. I mean, you look at a game like NBA 2K. I mean, how much NBA is actually pushed in the game. And I know I'm starting to sound like D for three, but like honestly, you look at a game like Madden, how much NFL is actually being pushed in the game. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like I said, when you look at the hockeys and the golf, and you look at even in some cases baseball, those games are actually pushing. I think MLB is kind of getting away from that a little bit, but they're pushing the sport more than your Maddens and your NBA 2Ks. Even NBA Live had to stray away from that a little bit with NBA Live 19 or whatever the case may be. I know they did a lot with the ones before then where they were more just my player esque. The thing about Live is just following the trend what 2K started, and it's not a knock on the quality of the games. It's just that you dealing with the trend of where the audience is. I think these games play very well. I don't have a problem with 2K. Live 19 had its issues. You have the more of these new games. Madden. A lot of people have been really jumping on Madden lately, and I get it. I don't have a problem with the gameplay of Madden. I think Madden is okay, but Madden is just not. Madden is just not geared toward people like me who want to play a franchise. Even with the upgrades to franchise mode, the game itself just doesn't feel like you're accomplishing anything. It just doesn't feel that way. At least with NCAA, when those games were out, you felt like you were, accomplishing something. It feels good to score a touchdown in those games. It feels good to get a first down. In basketball, it feels good to shoot the ball and make a shot. Drive to the basket and get an and one or get fouled. Those type of things. Those are the small things that drives you to continue to play. When you actually run a play and it works, or when the play works and it felt like you had to work to get it, and it was it was somewhat of a small accomplishment. Those are the things that really, the one thing I really love about these games. Now, I don't think it's going to ever get back to that. Unfortunately, I think with NBA 2K23, if Live comes back, Madden 23, even in some cases MLB to show, if you have like another 2K football game supposed to be coming out, I just don't think these games will ever be geared towards what the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, and even in some cases the early parts of the PlayStation 4, Xbox 360, Xbox One, I don't think they will ever try to pick up that format again, where they had to give you real content to keep you playing, not because they're just out here just trying to get your money so you can level up and be dunking over everybody within a matter of minutes. Or you can get this souped up team on Madden Ultimate Team, and you be playing online against a bunch of people within a matter of minutes. I miss those days when you actually had to grind and have to go through things to go through free agency. You had to go through certain trades. You had to make things work for your team to be good. I think those days are over. I honestly think those days are over. When you're playing now, some people are just playing, some people play my NBA, some people play like franchise mode and just to, go through the motions of playing a game that's new. And all the while, a lot of people, I ain't gonna say a lot of people, but most people that I know aren't necessarily having legitimately a legitimate fun experience doing this. Like when I do my streams, and I play a fairly old game games to have fun. I am very animated, and it's not a joke. I'm not doing it just because I'm trying to be excited and get the crowd excited. I don't have that many people watching my streams, but I do that because I genuinely be having fun. It's an accomplishment for what I've done in these two games that I stream a lot. I won a Super Bowl in Madden '08, and it felt great. I won the Sugar Bowl in NCAA '08, and it felt great because I built those teams, and I did it the right way. I went through free agency. I recruited correctly. I did everything that was right. So therefore, I was able to win the games I wanted to win. And it wasn't easy. I have the streams to prove it. I don't think we'll ever get back to that when it comes to playing these games. A lot of people play games for a few weeks. They get tired of it. They go jump to another game. They wait for the new game to come out. And it's a cycle. And I've told myself for the past few years, I'm not going through that cycle anymore. And I've done a phenomenal job. Listen, I'm a football guy. And I've been having fun playing basketball games more than football. That's crazy. But that just shows you the plight of that cycle that has been killing us. I've been playing NBA 2K22, and I haven't even talked about NBA 2K22 that much. But I will say that my NBA does feel like you're playing a really good franchise mode. And that's something that, for my taste and my liking, is what drives me to play that game. I have a whole bunch of games over here that I'm going to show you guys. Now, if you're interested or you're looking for something like I am, where you just want to find a good game to play that's going to give you a lot of longevity, you're going to play a good franchise mode, you're going to find a way to, let's say, level up or grind the right way to become the best in these games. I have a lot of games over here I'm going to show you. I mean, there's some good and some bad in all of them. But I'm going to show you these games because I think you should be able to enjoy sports games without trying to worry about the next installment and trying to find a way to get that same fun and ability again. Now, this is not for people who play my player. This is for people who like to play along. I take that back. This is for people who want to grind and be really successful at a my player style of career mode, because you can do it and actually have enjoyment for years. And I'm serious when I said it, for years, if you really are dedicated to this. Now, everybody like the flash, everybody like to see the new thing, and everybody wants to play the new thing, and they drift away from this. This is not necessarily about retro or brand new. This is just about quality games that you can play. You're going to enjoy yourself, and it's going to be rewarding along the way. All right, I'm going to get these two games out the way first. You already know, I stream both of these games, and these games are phenomenal. One thing about these games here, you can take the players off of here, put them on this game, and continue your career. So therefore, I have a Dynasty with NC State on this game. I take the players, import the draft class, and put them on this game. These games are basically, one game and these collectively is like one game together. It's just one college and one NFL. And it goes on and on. The guys that are on this game are on this game. Just as soon as they graduate from college, they go over. Great gameplay. There's no grinding or anything like that. It's just straight, hey, look, I need to make some transactions to make my team great. And that's the way it goes. I'm not going to talk about that generation anymore. The original Xbox, PS2 era. I'm not going to talk about that generation anymore because these games, they're fairly easy to find, but, those retro consoles are starting to get expensive. I've seen PlayStation 2s for almost $100 now. I've seen original Xboxes for like $89, $90 now. That may not be the investment you want to get into. Personally, I'm getting to the point now I'm starting to recommend PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, maybe even the PlayStation 4. But I recommend the Xbox 360 and the PS3 because those are cheap. I think you can find a PS3 now for less than $80 now. I know I've seen a 360 for like less than $80, but we're not going to talk about value right now. I'm just going to talk about the games that are there that you can play. I'm going to start with college football. Why not? These are the games I have. PlayStation 3. I have PlayStation 3 games, Xbox 360 games, and I'm going to give you the ones that I recommend. I'm not going to show you all the games I have, but I'm going to give you the ones I recommend. Obviously, NCAA 14 is on this list. I don't have NCAA 14 physical. I have it on digital. If you want that game physical, good luck. I think at my latest retro game store, a guy was selling it for $50, but that game is highly expensive, and good luck. I got it digital. The game's been delisted off the Xbox 360 and PS3 store. But I do have this one. NCAA Football 13. You could probably find this one for a decent price. Very good game. Very good game. Very good game. Very good game. Years. You can go through years of playing this, and I have a really good experience. Dynasty wise, if you can't find this game, the next best one I would play for PS3 360, NCAA Football 10. And I'm not joking. One thing about this game here, this game has a lot of elements from the PlayStation 2 era. So if you want to, have, certain injuries show back up, you want to have that real college atmosphere. Let's see what else they have. The recruiting is really good. Lighting is really nice in this game. A lot of animations from the PlayStation 2 era and Xbox era is in here. This is probably like the last game that tried to have the PlayStation 2 Xbox, original Xbox type of format in the PlayStation 3 games. It's probably the last one. So if you can find this one, this would be a good one to get. Okay, I'm going to jump over to why not college basketball. There's only 2 games I recommend. Honestly, I mean, I'll be candid. You can get the other games that are pretty much as good, but I'm going to give you these 2 games, and good luck finding these as well. College Hoops 2K8. This game is over $100 now. This is a very expensive game. Very, very good basketball game. You can't go wrong with this. I've been playing a lot of this lately. Just been picking up on my Dynasty on here because this game probably has one of the deepest Dynasty modes ever. You can recruit guys all over the world. Even you can recruit guys from the freshman year of high school in this game. Yes, you can go that far back, and there's a lot of things that you can do in this game to develop players, and it can become great. Also, this game do have import draft classes. You can take the guys off of here and put them on NBA 2K8. I don't recommend NBA 2K8 too much. If you want it for the draft classes and play, that's phenomenal. But once again, years of enjoyment. Years of enjoyment. I highly recommend it. You get this if you can. For the price, you can get your money's worth because this game is over $100. And how much people are paying for NBA 2K right now? You could pay almost $100 if you get that premium deal with all that VC. You can get this and have an authentic experience. Another game is going up in price. Oh boy, NCAA Basketball 10 is another one. The knock on this game is the only knock on this game, and I have the same problem with this with another basketball game I'll talk about shortly. There's no injuries in this game. There's injuries in this game. This game has the whole total package. I think the only thing that's probably missing in this game is like real presentation of the broadcast. This game has the broadcast UI. ESPN, CBS. I mean, this is great. I don't think you ever see that again. This is great. If this had this presentation, perfect game, in my opinion. But this game doesn't have any injuries, and this game is this game is not bad outside of that. I think that's really much it. Recruiting could be better. Developing players could be better. But as far as authentic, the basketball experience, you get You can't go wrong with either one of these. Once again, years of enjoyment if you really about that grind, if you really about that life. Years. I don't have anything else to go with the basketball stuff. I guess since we are just went through college, I guess I can go to the football. And I just talked about NCAA 14. NCAA 14, you can import those draft classes to this game, Madden 25. Madden 25 is still a pretty solid football game. I know a lot of people play it on the PlayStation 4, which is not it's not a bad option at all. I mean, it's still one of the better football games that you can play. The reason why I picked this one is because of the draft classes on NCAA 14. Like I said, I have that game digital. I don't have it physical. I'm kind of mad because I did get rid of that game, but I like I said, I do have it digital. I also have it digital on the 360. So I have this game digital on PS3. You see, there's a running theme here on my options or whatever the case may be. Playing this game is pretty cool. The draft classes are. I don't think the draft classes is as accurate as they were back in the day. Like for instance, if I play NCAA 08 and go to Madden 08, the draft classes are pretty accurate. I didn't even talk about this game here. You can import draft classes to Madden 10. They're not as accurate as they were back in the PS2 days, even with NCAA 10. But if you do decide to do this, once again, years of enjoyment if you really about that life. And like I said, it's a pretty solid game. And if you can't find that game, which you could, Madden 25 is pretty easy to find. Madden 10, like I said, it's another game. Take the draft classes off this, put it on this game. Both games are basically like one game in itself. And that's the one beautiful thing about these draft classes. One thing that I hope EA will go back to one day. But Madden 10 has gotten a bad rap for that stupid fight for the fumble and Pro Tack. I think is what it's called, Pro Tack or whatever. One thing I will say about this game has a legit halftime show. Years of enjoyment if you put these two together. Years. It's a pretty solid game overall. All right, so I'm going to hop. Oh, I would be remiss if I don't talk about this game here. Football game is in high regard. Very, very good game. The problem is the game is fairly limited. You're not going to get that much of an enjoyment or longevity replay value like I talked about the other games. All Pro Football 2K8. Very good football game. I highly recommend you picking this up just because the price of this game is kind of going up. That's why I got both of them. I got the PS3 version as well. So I have both. And I highly recommend you guys pick this up if you can. It's not a bad game as far as what's on the field. It's actually pretty good. But the games are limited. So I'm not going to say you can get years and years of enjoyment out of this. But if you decide to go back to it every now and then and play a season or whatever, you're good money. You're good money. The game really needed a franchise mode. Speaking of that, let's get into the basketball games. And like I said, I'm sticking to the PS3. I'm not really talking about PS4. I do have a couple of PS4 games here, and I do recommend a few, but I'm not talking about them as much. Going to talk to basketball. When it comes to basketball, we all talk about the 2K11s and in some cases 2K14, which, I'm a big fan of 2K14 as well when it comes to PS3. But almost dropped it. This game right here, this is the last time EA, in my opinion, really got it right. Franchise mode in this game is pretty good. The basketball in this game is pretty good. The atmosphere is pretty good. That's why I had to get both of them. I had to get both of these games. These games are great. Unfortunately, the bad thing about this, the draft classes on here do not go over to this game over here. The last time EA done that was in 2004 with Live 2004, unfortunately. But these games are really good. The only knock on these games as well, there's no injuries. I mean, if you play a Dynasty mode, you will have an injury here and there, but it's off court. Like, you'll find out that somebody got hurt or whatever. But as far as your players, they don't get hurt in game. Now, they do have the animations of them getting hurt, but they don't get hurt. This game here, the 361, is starting to get more harder to find. I've seen this one in different places. I went through hell finding this one, but I finally found it. And I got it. I'm glad I got it. And for a sports title, this was a little more expensive. This game was almost $15 at the store I went to. For a sports game, an old sports game, that is pretty expensive for a Live 10 on 360. This one, I bought this one day one, and this is my day one copy. I had this ever since. I highly, recommend you guys get this. Real good Dynasty mode. You can have fun with this, albeit there's no injuries. Speaking of NBA 2K, I also recommend, which I don't have a real copy of it. Well, I say a standalone copy. MLB. NBA 2K14 is probably like the best game you can get on the PS3 era. Now, obviously, if you go on the PS4, there are some phenomenal games like 2K17. You can also, speaking of 2K17, wait a minute. I thought I had 2K17 over here. Yeah. I'll get to that in a second. Like NBA 2K17 on the PS4. NBA 2K19 is another good one. 2K21 was okay. But the problem with those games get nerfed so bad when the games are released. One thing I say about these games, you may get a patch here or there, but they don't really break the games. That's another reason why I am touching the 360 the PS3 era, because these games are untouched at this point. If you play this game, you get what you get, and the games play really well. I'll get into the baseball side of this shortly, but PS3, you can have a really good time playing this game, and the franchise association is really good. I recommend that. Also, if you want to talk about a PS3 game that was later on in the cycle, I picked this one up a while back. I think 2K18, you can get that one as well. This is a pretty good game. It's a pretty solid game on the PS3. A lot of people don't talk about the later games that was done after the console generation was over. And by now, 2K17, you can get the PS4 version and you can rock out. You'll be great. Trust me. The PS3 version is not bad either. I think this is something that's overlooked. If you're interested, I think you should get it. These games are starting to become hard to find because they weren't really put out there. They're kind of limited. My favorite NBA Live of the PS4, Xbox One era, NBA Live 15. You can't go wrong with this either. This game and this game are very similar in my opinion, as far as quality and playing Dynasty mode. The Dynasty mode in Live 10 is slightly better in my opinion because you can go through the season and training and stuff. Live 15, you can't go wrong. The problem with this game, there's no injuries as well. And the roster is kind of weird when you're trying to edit rosters or whatever the case may be. But you can have fun with that, and you can go through years with that as well if need be. Live 19 is another one. This game, the Dynasty mode isn't as good, but the basketball in this game is actually a lot better than people give credit for. This one is a good one. Live needs to come back. They do. Regardless of what people say, with Live 19 gave me a lot of hope of what this game could become. And I've been playing my Dynasty mode in this as well. It's pretty good. I highly recommend it. Why not? Yeah, I think you can get the game for pretty cheap. All right. I'm going to get into baseball, tennis, hockey, and golf. Let's go on to baseball. I got MLB The Show, the 21. I think it's a really good game. You can't go wrong with that. But if you want to get into games of this era, I'm going to give you games I highly recommend. I want to start off with this one. MLB 2K8. This is a really good game. Pitching mechanics are good. The Dynasty mode is great as well. I'm not going to get too far into this one, but this is a good one. I recommend it if you are into the 2K baseball. And you cannot find this other game that I have, because if you can't find 2K13, which I'm about to talk about, this is a really good one. I love this game. People give this game a bad rap, and I know it's hard to see. It's MLB 2K13. And now you can see the cover now. I recommend this game a lot. This is a really good baseball game. People give this game a bad rap, but I recommend it. This is a good one. If you rather play 2K baseball instead of MLB The Show, which, a lot of people don't really look at it like that, but I recommend it. Speaking of MLB The Show, you can start off with 13. 13 is really good. The only problem with 13, the pitching mechanics is not as great as MLB The Show 14. And I just talked about this, MLB 14. I love the mechanics of pitching in this game. In this game better. But this one's a cheap option if you don't want to spend $60 or $70 for a game. Very cheap. They also have, I think they went up to MLB The Show 16 on PS3. You can't go wrong if you go that route. And with it being 162 games, you could that could be your exclusive game to play. Now, if you do want to go to PlayStation 4 route, there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to go to PlayStation 5 route, there's nothing wrong with that as well. I think one thing about MLB, they've done a phenomenal job with the quality of their games. I think they've done a really good job. So you cannot go wrong with their Dynasty modes, but this is more geared towards the 2K series. If you want to play MLB 2K, this is the way to go. 2K13, I really like that game. Let's talk about tennis real quick, because I got a lot of tennis games. Again, believe it or not, even some from the PlayStation 4 era. Let's talk about it. First and foremost, EA Sports used to have a tennis game that was pretty good. Grand Slam Tennis 2, you can't go wrong with this game. I think these games are really cheap to pick up. I think you can get these games for anywhere under $9 now. Probably cheaper than that. The career mode in this is really good as well. The career mode is something that I'm really into. So you can do really good with this. They also have, the Wimbledon and all this other, the other Grand Slam tournaments that they have. You can't go wrong with any of this. This is really good. I think it has it on here. It says it includes all 4 Grand Slams, and it's an exclusive home to Wimbledon. So yeah, it has U.S. Open, Australian Open, the Roland Garros. It also has, like I said, it has all this good stuff that you want to have the authentic experience. Now, if you want to have an experience without, I think this has the U.S. Open in it as well. I'm not sure if it has Wimbledon. Topspin 4, this game just plays better than this one. It just plays better. This one is really good. I recommend this game as well. This game came out in 2010, I think. Let me think. I think it's 2020. Yeah, I think it came out in 2010 or 2011. Can't go wrong with this game. Really good controls. The game just plays really smooth. And nowadays, I think this is probably still the best tennis game out overall. Even though it may not have the Wimbledon license or whatever the case may be, the World Tour mode, which is the career mode, is really good. I think you guys will really like this. I highly recommend it. If you decide to stumble over this one, you really can't go wrong. I just feel that this game is better. I just feel like this game just plays better. So, you can't go wrong with either one. I lean towards Topspin a little bit. Now, this is another game that nobody really talks about, which is actually pretty good. It does have a pretty decent, it has a pretty decent mode as well as far as career mode. It has a world challenge. It does pretty good. Virtual Tennis 4 by Sega. This is a good game to have. I haven't played too much of this, but I think this one is probably just as good as the other ones. But the problem is I haven't played much of it, and I need to play more of this. I may need to make a separate video of this. This one is starting to get hard to find as well. I wouldn't be surprised if the price of this goes up. Is it not up now? But I need to get in. I need to play this more because I will confess I don't have much experience with this game, but I heard the career mode is pretty good. I need to get into that more. Now, this is another game that's on the PlayStation 4 that I would like to recommend to you guys. I think the career mode in this is very unique and it's pretty good. You can have a lot of fun with this. Like I said, with all these other games, the career modes, you can play these and have a great time. World Tennis Tour 2. World Tennis Tour 2. I talked about this game in on one of my pickups lately because I kept saying I'm gonna buy this, but I didn't. I finally did. World Tennis Tour has a really good career mode, and I think one thing about this game just gears towards career mode in general. And I think all the other tennis games do as well. But that's one thing I like about the tennis, the hockey. I ain't gonna say hockey, but tennis and golf games. They gear towards this a lot more, or towards career more than the other games. Even with MLB 13, they do a pretty good job with my player as well. They did a pretty good my player in that as well. MLB The Show, you already know Road to the Show. What more do I need to say there? I think this game is just basically geared towards, just playing with a my player and go. And it's really good. It's a really good game. I highly recommend it. If you want to play the PlayStation 4 version of tennis games, because like these games, you don't find too many of them. All right. Did I get into the hockey games? I don't think I did. Where are my hockey games? I want to apologize because I don't have my hockey games. I thought I did. Well, I do. They're right here. I'm sorry. These two hockey games, you can't go wrong. I know MLB. I'm sorry. I know NHL 22 just came out, and I want to say, hey, if you go MLB 2K, MLB 2K. If you want to go NHL 22, you can't go wrong. DJ81, a fellow gamer of mine, has done an extensive video about that. I'll put that link in the description if you want to check that out. But I'm going to start off with this one. NHL 14, very good franchise mode. I'm still playing this game 7-8 years later. Good game. Can't go wrong with this. This is probably one of the better games that EA Sports put out as far as hockey games. There's not more to say about this. They really geared toward, I think they have a my player in this as well, but they really geared towards, the franchise mode because they put a lot into it. They put a lot into this one as well. NHL 21. You can do a my player on this, be a pro as well. But there's no denying both of these games do a really good job of giving you great franchise modes. Great franchise modes. And with that being said, if you pick up either one, you can't go wrong. I probably would gear towards more NHL 22 because it's new and they just continue with the tradition of giving you a great gameplay and a really good franchise mode. So if you find either one, you can't go wrong. You really can't. You really, really can't. Now I'm going to go into golf, and I've been great experience playing with golf games lately. And if you're on a PS3, PS4, and you want a golf game, I'm going to start off with the PS3. Tiger Woods 14. This game has all the Grand Slams, the Masters, the Open, the PGA Championship, USGA. It has all that in here. And this is the total package in my opinion. You can start a my player or you can start your own player and go through the grind of becoming a good golfer. It is a grind. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's a grind. This game does not hold your hand. This game is difficult at first, but you can overcome it. I do have another game I could recommend. It's kind of you know what? Hold on, let me get that right now. Don't mind my son's stuff behind me. That he loves to be up here. You already know how it is. This game is a grind, and it is no joke. But I'm gonna talk about another game shortly. I forgot to bring it over here. This game, once you get the mechanics right and learn how to swing a club, this game is great. I mean, the satisfaction of leveling up and learning how to play this game and becoming good at it is great. I mean, bro, if you can find this game, get it. You can also get 13. 13 is not bad as well. But I highly recommend it. Now, there was a Roy McIlroy PGA Golf. I have that digitally. Don't get that game. And I'm serious when I say don't get that. The game is not a good golf game, in my opinion. It's not a good one. EA Sports did a very good job with this one. Not so much with the other one. No, the Roy Mac. But what I will recommend, and I'm gonna talk about this one last. But what I will recommend, buy this game. The reason why I say buy this game, the career mode is great. It's really, really good. Also, it's much more pick up and play than this one. This game don't hold your hand at all. When you're going to get frustrated learning how to play this game, the guys from the golf club came through and played and got this game for 2K. I mean, they end up, the guys from golf club end up getting with 2K and making this game. The golf club was another game that didn't hold your hand. They've done a phenomenal job of changing that narrative. They put this game together. This game plays great when for newcomers. It's very good. You can be very successful in this game. I'm pretty sure you can up the difficulty, but pick up and play and a great career mode, you cannot go wrong. For more advanced people, I highly recommend this one. Tiger Woods 14, it does not hold your hand. The career mode is phenomenal, though. Also, with this game, you can play with females in this game as well and have a female LPGA. Oh, I'm about to say the wrong thing. LPGA. LPGA tour with females as well, which is not talked about enough. It's not talked about enough. Now, the last game I'm going to talk about, because I've been going really long here. I didn't expect this VF cast to be this long, but if you guys made it this far, I really appreciate it. I thank you guys. But this game here is a very unique game. Very, very unique. This one is probably hard to find. I'm going to play more of this because I want to show off this game. This game originally came out on the original Xbox. This is the sequel to it. The original Xbox, I think I showed this game a little bit on a couple of my, or one of my top 5 Tuesdays. I showed the Xbox version. But the game did come out on PS3 as well. John Daly's Pro Stroke Golf. This game has a really good career mode as far as I remember. I think it has a pretty good career mode. I think it does. Let me look. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. I think it does. I haven't got into this one as much as I did with the other one because the other one has a pretty decent career mode, and I'm pretty sure they just picked up off and did that as well. But this game is really good as far as mechanics, first person to third person. I need to make a video on this so I can show you guys. I may even stream this and show you guys how well this game plays because it's very, very intuitive, and you don't see games like this anymore. It's a very unique game. I'll show off one day. So that's pretty much it. I mean, I know this one is much longer than I thought it would, but I really appreciate you guys. Usually with the VF cast anyway, I try to go anywhere between 30 to 45 minutes. This may be going over 45 minutes at the moment, but I'm glad that you guys made it this far. I really appreciate it. Hopefully these games will give you some type of insight of the type of gamer I am, and I know that the games that are out now aren't for me. And besides, I have all these sports games here. Why do I need to continue to chase that greatness when I feel I have a lot of greatness right here? These aren't bad games. These are really, really good games. And I recommend any of these games if you guys are into it. You guys want to get into just playing sports and just enjoying that lifestyle of just playing the game and having fun and going through the motions of playing a real career mode. I highly recommend these games for the most part. All Pro Football 2K8 is not so much, but the rest of these games, you can play these games and have years and years of fun. And don't have to worry about it. Now I know, a lot of people are probably saying, "Oh, why you play that old game or this that?" Look, it's not about the time that the games came out. It's about the quality. It's really about the quality. And I'm not knocking the newer games that much. They're just not for me. I love playing NBA 2K22 because NBA 2K22 does satisfy what I'm looking for in these games. They do satisfy. But when it comes to like the Maddens, even in some cases NHL, because NHL is just so good. MLB The Show, yeah, those games are great, but I have those games now. As far as, well, like I said, I do have MLB The Show 21. I have NHL 21. I have 2K21 as far as golf. So I do play the newer ones, but the new games nowadays aren't really geared towards my type. They're not. And I think that's something that we need to, realize. So hopefully you guys understood where I'm coming from. I think I was very thorough and I came across, and if this, hopefully you hit the like button, share this, let people know what I'm doing over here. I am going to be doing more retro stuff. Halloween is coming up. I got something in store for Halloween, what I'm going to do as far as a stream. Also, I'm going to be doing more pickups, retro stuff. I'm starting to get to the point where I'm starting to pick up more PlayStation 1 stuff. I think the PlayStation 1 stuff is starting to be my thing, and hopefully you guys will check that out. And we'll just go from there. Thank you guys once again. I will see you guys on the next one. Hopefully you guys got the information. And you can always find me here on Twitter at VFBaller, all the other places. And I'll see you guys then. All right, y'all. You guys be blessed. Peace.